I'd like to call Mr. Forbes to bring God's blessings to our meeting this evening.
Good night. Let's stand and bow our heads, close our eyes as we invite God's presence here tonight. Eternal and most merciful Father, as we gathered here in the village of Whim as a family of the People's Nationalist Movement, we ask you, God, to guide, and protect us. Be with us. Encourage who are on the way to hasten their footsteps. As we have a message to send tonight, dear God, and we ask that all that we do and what we say, we do it in Jesus' name. In our coming, you came with us, and in our going, when the meeting is finished, we ask you, dear God, just to do the same. And as we bring this meeting to our beginning, dear God, take charge. In your name we ask, and everybody simply say, Amen.
Right, PNM family knows some of our friends are walking at this time. So when they come, we want to make it easier for them to come in. So those of the back just come in the front. So as they come in, they just go straight to the back. So come forward, you know. We have a big team. Yes, DeAndre, you said you're coming. Come lead. Come quickly. So those who are coming after will just filter in the back. Somebody say come in. Come in. Come, PNM family, come in. Yeah, come in. Yeah, man, we want to get the thing going. Come front. Right, DJ, give some music there. As you all come forward. Come front. Just spread out, you know. All right. Yes, man, make some noise, so it's a Shamfa. Powerful. Right. Good. So we are ready. We are the PNM. We are the People's National Movement. 69 years old. The only national party in Trinidad and Tobago, where we feel 41 candidates in every single constituency, in every single election. We are the PNM. When we came to you in '56, the symbol was the Balize. In 2005, 25, we still what? The Balize. There's none like us. We're ready, and we are ready. We are ready and ready in the interests of all of us, of Trinidad and Tobago. This election is a very serious one. This election, we have a choice to ensure that we put good government, to ensure that good governance continue in Trinidad and Tobago. You have a choice. The choice is simple. Between the United National Congress, the UNC, and all the others that join up to make the UNC, and the People's National Movement, led by Stuart Young. Our choice is Stuart Young and the People's National Movement. Make some noise. We are proud to be PNM, proud to stand on any platform, because we know that the country that we live in was built by the People's National Movement. All the benefits you enjoy that people take for granted is because of the People's National Movement. And you know, one simple fact, I went to pay my light bill today. And when I was by the cashier, she looked at my bill and said, Mr. Paul, you know, if you reduce your consumption, you'll get 35% off your bill? I said, eh? She said, yes. Your consumption now is 900 and something. If it's 835, you're getting 35% off. So I call over the children, make sure them lights off. I want my 35%. Your government working for you. Make some noise. She told me as well, she said, listen, you know there are utility assistance program? You must tell people that. So I'm telling you all of this to let you know there are so many programs available for all of us to make our lives better, done by the People's National Movement. And that is why we are taking this platform everywhere. That is why we are making it like a crusade. Because we have a country to save. We have young people to ensure that the progress continues under the People's National Movement. Because, my friends, we have seen what the PNM can do. I didn't hear you. We can see what the People's National Movement can do. And because of that, we are here tonight in support to endorse our candidate, Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis. Now let me introduce the platform. I want us in Whim to make some noise as I introduce to you the political leader of the People's National Movement, Tobago Council, Brother Ancil Dennis. And of course, next to him is a charming, bright, brilliant, strong, dynamic representative, our standard bearer, Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis. And the man from Whim, the homeboy himself, the minority leader. One is enough. Brother Kelvin Morris. In the PNM, when it comes to young people, we're serious about young people. Because young persons are the future of this country. On every platform, we ensure we have a youth voice. Tonight, sitting there, Brother Delano Jofield. Somebody say PNM. I can't hear you. Somebody say PNM. Who are you voting for? Who are you voting for? My friends, in these elections, in Tobago East, Ayanna Webster-Roy. In Tobago West, Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis. And of course, when you vote, we ensure we have a Prime Minister by the name of Stuart Young and the People's National Movement. So I want to get the platform rolling this evening. We want to give you the facts. We want you to be informed so that you can spread the message, the People's National Movement message. No joke. We are serious about the business of Trinidad and Tobago. When we tell you who we are not under the table. We are no secret. We are the PNM. We are ready, and we are ready. And to get the ball rolling this evening, I want to bring on board to address you a bright young man, one of the future leaders in Tobago, a man who stood tall, a man who brought the whole of Signal Hill last Sunday to their feet. He's coming to share with you today. Make some noise as I introduce our youth speaker, brother, the young, dynamic, Delano Joviel. Make some noise.
Thank you, Chairman Paul. PNM Army, how you feeling? I ain't feeling that, man. How you feeling? Right, you're looking good, man. You're looking good. Allow me to recognize at this time our political leader for the Tobago Council, Mr. Ancil Dennis. Our candidate, the fiercest in the West for this 2025 general election, the Honorable Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis. Our chairman of the Tobago Council, Mr. Larry Paul, your man from Yard, and our minority leader in the THA leading the charge for us over and leading it well, Mr. Kelvon Morris. All supporters, members of the media, those listening on the other side via social media, good evening. We're ready, and we're responsible with Tobago's future. We are ready, and we are responsible. And tonight, we are here standing strong, standing proud, and standing united behind a woman who has proven that representation isn't just about talk. It's about results. It's about performance. It's about leadership that you can trust. She has been a trailblazer. You see her fire all over Tobago. And brothers and sisters, I'm not talking about fire in the normal sense of the word as we know it to be destructive. I'm talking about the fire that built the fire to build a nation. The same fire that in 2015 built tourism, in 2018 built sport and youth affairs, and in 2020 built sport and community development. That same fire that has advocated on behalf of Tobago, brought goods and services to the people of Tobago, and paved the way for some of the biggest developments that we have ever seen in Tobago's lifetime. That same fire, that developmental fire, that dedicated fire, that humble fire, that sham fire. Somebody put your hands together for your candidate. From the very start of her journey, Shamfa made history, becoming the youngest Tobagonian to be appointed to the Senate back in 2010. Since then, she has gone from strength to strength, serving in the House of Representatives since 2015, and taking up major roles of leadership in tourism, youth affairs, sports, and community development. But let me tell you something. Her resume is not just about titles. It's about tangible results. Because Shamfa isn't just in office. She's in service. Brothers and sisters, under her leadership, Tobago West received the $2.1 billion expansion of the Ayanna Robinson International Airport, a game changer for business, travel, tourism, and most importantly, youth opportunities. It opens doors for careers in aviation, hospitality, and entrepreneurship. She secured over $30 million to upgrade the Dwight York Stadium, putting Tobago on the map as a sport tourism hub and giving our athletes the world-class facility they deserve. She delivered the overpromised and long-awaited Hillsborough Dam, and the Southwest Wastewater Treatment Plant. She brought to life the Signal Hill to Apex transmission pipeline to boost water supply. She advocated for drilling of new wells in Bad Hill and upgrades to water infrastructure. She even brought booster stations to Shervan, Corlan, and French Fort. Put your hands together for your dedicated leader, brothers and sisters. But let me tell you something. Let me take some time to talk about you and the things that she has done for you, young people. Shamfa has not forgotten us. She created the Empower TT program to uplift our young men, giving them mentorship, job opportunities, and hope. Through the Boss Lady Project, she gave women who were young, unemployed, and overlooked, the tools and confidence to succeed. She introduced the Dream Chasers summer internship, the Youth Lead Project, and certified craft training through ECCL to help us become our own bosses and shape our own future. She even brought the I Choose Sport to our Tobago schools, benefiting over 2,000 students, and partnered with the YMCA to teach swimming to both youth and seniors. She trained our coaches. She brought sporting camps. She said, and she made it clear, that Tobago's talent deserved Tobago opportunities, and she delivered. Whether you're a student, an athlete, an artist, a dreamer, Shamfa had something for you. Let's speak economics. We all can agree that young people need money in their pockets, not promises. And she has delivered entrepreneurship workshops and grants through NEDCO and the Ministry of Trade, concessions for young hoteliers and taxi drivers. She has also delivered support for Tobago businesses to buy new equipment and expand their operation. And let's not forget the Tobago Crab Farm project, giving new life to young farmers, the 40 Under 40 and LEAP program, which is used to prepare us young people for the world of work. She has been all in for Tobago West, brothers and sisters. None other can stand. She has gone on, tested, tried, and true. She is our candidate. You only get the best when it comes from the People's National Movement. And we have brought to you the best once again, Mrs. Shamfa, Cudjoe-Lewis. Somebody put your hands together for your MP that delivers. Now we speak to her compassionate leadership, a leadership style that this present TPP seems to know nothing about. During the pandemic, she was there, providing food cards, hampers, and support to over 4,000 families. And when the pressure of back to school came, she helped over 1,000 families with school supplies, textbooks, and uniforms. She secured over 25 million in home construction and refurbishment grants for people of Tobago West. She assisted constituents with employment, business support, home wiring, water tank relief, you name it. She can claim it, brothers and sisters. Now, my family, I want to make something very clear. Shamfa delivered all of these things because she is in the cabinet of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. She didn't have to beg. She didn't have to bargain. She had a seat at the table where the decisions are made. So don't be fooled by anyone who tells you that they're just sending down a voice to Parliament. We don't just need a voice. We need power. We need presence. We need people who can perform and form a government, make decisions, and deliver. In other words, we need a party that has run for 41 seats that can make a government, not a party that wants to deliver to you 2 seats and bargain. Bargaining doesn't help you deliver. Being in the cabinet delivers to the people of Tobago. And Shamfa has proven that she can do just that. For you, for me, for Whim, and for Tobago West. She didn't just show up for projects. She showed up for people. She walked with us. She cried with us. She celebrated with us. She interacted with our children. She uplifted our elders. She didn't just come to represent. She came to serve. Whether it was the drilling of new water wells, installation of street lights, building of the Chauvin police station, or fighting for the land regularization, Shamfa has always had your back. So, Whim, the question is, do you have hers? On election day, we're not voting for popularity. We're voting for performance. We're voting for progress. We're voting for Tobago West that's all in for youth, all in for growth, all in for legacy. We're voting for Miss Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis, a woman with fire in her soul and Tobago in her heart. Let's vote for red. Let's vote for ready. Let's vote for responsible leadership. Let's vote for representation that you can trust. So on April 28th, get up early, wake up your friends, talk to your cousins, walk with your elders, and vote, 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 vote. We will vote for our future, for our siblings, for our friends, for our family, for Tobago West, for Trinidad and Tobago. We will vote. All in with Shamfa, all in with Team PNM, all in for Trinidad and Tobago. And brothers and sisters, when we have placed our vote resoundingly with the People's National Movement, understanding that we have done the right thing for our development, we will stand in one accord after giving praise to our God and sing, "Great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM," and we have prevailed. I thank you.
Friends and family with love for TNT. From the mountaintop to the valley low, everywhere we go, country before party. PNM, we working together, we building together, and we'll make it better. PNM, side by side, together, we standing together for our nation.
What a powerful endorsement. Whim, make some noise for the Delano Youth Power. And of course, we have chairs in the front. Yes, come right up. We're making room for you and we prepare for you. That's youth power for you, man. He said, Shamfa is not just about office. She's about service. And good representation is what we're about. And when you talk representation, you talk Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis. And Delano gave you a whole list of delivery. Delivery after delivery after delivery by Sister Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis. Proud to be PNM. Always standing strong. Representation is her name. And that's why we are here, to give full endorsement to the continued service and what she has done over the years, and saying, listen, a job well done. For that, we give you another term to continue the service. Make some noise for Sister Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis. And you know, we're on home soil. They say, you know, your next speaker is a sportsman. And when you're home, you just make some runs, you show off, you know, because you're on home soil. I want to bring a sportsman to you, a community man, a man who says he wants to change the world with volunteerism and community engagement, seeking to touch the lives of the persons with whom we come into contact. And I have known Kelvin for a very long time. A man from Whim, a community man, a man who is the founder of Swam Football Club, always engaging. I want to say we are proud of our next speaker. Because you see, when we had one, we said, boy, one boy? But when Kelvin got up, stood up, and one man holding the whole set of them to book, they're running, my friends. They said one is enough. We are proud of this next speaker, a man who has proven himself over and over again. We in the PNM, proud about our young people, putting them in the front, and they're showing off in the interest of the people of Trinidad and Tobago and Whim, Dalles Spring and surroundings. Make some noise as I bring the next speaker to you. He goes by the name of Kelvin Morris. My friends, make some noise as I bring on the minority leader in the THA, your own brother, Kelvin Morris. Make some noise.
Whim people, Spring Garden people, Union people, Marysville people, Darrell Spring people, did I say Glen Road people? Idlewild, Montpelier, Pump Mill, the entire electoral district of Darrell Spring. Thank you for coming out. Good night, PNM people, PNM family, good night. How we feeling tonight? Ready to vote on the 28th of April? Ready to vote Shamfa, Cudjoe-Lewis in Tobago West? Ready to vote Ayanna, Webster-Roy in Tobago East? Ready to vote PNM, PNM, PNM? Brothers and sisters, good night, and permit me to recognize our hard-working, diligent political leader, Tobago Council, Brother Ancil Dennis. Permit me here to recognize our young, strong, dynamic, intelligent, our hard-working action Shamfa, I call her, getting it done, Shamfa Ashaki Cudjoe-Lewis. Of course, our chairman, Tobago Council, and chairman for tonight's meeting, Brother Larry Paul, members of the executive of the Tobago Council, and this young man to whom I would recognize, you know, is a young man in whom I am personally very proud. And, you know, every time I hear Delano speak, you know, it really strengthens my conviction in the investment of the People's National Movement in our young people. And tonight, from where I sit, I want us to recognize that delivery, that speech by young Delano Jofield. Because you see, it is only on a PNM platform you would find young people of the quality of young Delano Jofield. Young people who understand that the investment of the PNM through programs such as GATE, HYPE, MILAT is not to be taken for granted. Because it was just today I saw a conversation happening on social media. And that conversation was young people saying that in their view, they don't feel like the government do anything for me. And therefore, I saw a response, and it is only when I saw the response that listed over 40 youth-focused programs delivered by this People's National Movement. There I became so happy that in this People's National Movement, we have a government that is focused on delivering for young people throughout Trinidad and Tobago. And we are talking about programs such as the 40 under 40, right here in the electoral district of Darrell Spring Whim. Through working with our MP, we were able to recommend persons to be part of that program. And as I go through this presentation, I want to pause for a second to recognize and thank our Member of Parliament for Tobago West, MP Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis, for her support and the work that she has placed within this electoral district of Darrell Spring Whim. MP, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you, thank you, thank you. Because while we say one is enough, the truth is we are a team in the People's National Movement. And therefore, a lot of what I have been able to deliver to you has been through the diligent collaboration and support of our Member of Parliament for Tobago West. That Sports and Family Day that we look forward to every year, it is because our MP support through her ministry with financial assistance, ensuring that we can fund that activity, bringing together families throughout the electoral district of Darrell Spring Whim to have a day where we can congregate in and have that kind of camaraderie and bring families together, because we know how fast-paced life can get. And therefore, that Sports and Family Day, powered by our Member of Parliament for Tobago West, is one of those occasions that help for family empowerment and family togetherness. And therefore, through her representation, we are able to have those kind of activities. That Children Christmas extravaganza, where we treat over 500 children, is another activity ably supported by our Member for Parliament for Tobago West, Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis. And brothers and sisters, I can speak about a number of collaborations right in Bad Hill. That power plant that is ensuring that we have a reliable supply of water. That is through the action of our Member of Parliament diligently working for you, the people of Tobago West, for you, the people of Bad Hill, Whim and environs, ensuring we have a reliable source of water. And it doesn't stop there. I would tell you about that facility in Whim. Started because in Whim we had challenges with crime and violence. And we had a then area representative, Mrs. Claudia Groom-Duke, recognizing that social intervention and sport is a viable way to engage young people and keep them out of trouble. And therefore, that youth facility, sport and youth facility, was envisioned. And yes, it took some time. Delayed, not denied. Because you see, oftentimes, when things are delayed, you get an opportunity to do it better, to do it bigger. And today, I can say, thanks to the foresight, the vision of the People's National Movement and our Member of Parliament being part of a cabinet that runs this organization called UDICOT, today, once and for all, the people of Whim and environs have a sporting facility that is second to none throughout Tobago, the Whim Sports Facility. And I look forward to working with MP Cudjoe when you put her back as the next Member of Parliament for Tobago West to ensure that we have the kind of community activities, the training activities, the sporting activities that can fully put that facility to use. Because you know, Whim is a village blessed with a lot of sporting talent. Whim and environs is a village that you can find young men, whether it be cricket, football, basketball, netball, and you know, a lot of people speak to me in amazement because some people, when they passed through before that facility was developed, said to me, how could a village where I don't see a field, I don't see any kind of recreational facility produce such exceptional talent? And therefore, this facility now provides us with the platform and the wherewithal to ensure that our young boys and girls now have somewhere to develop and hone their skills to become their best selves. And MP, as we go forward, I know there's one thing with that facility that Mr. Brian Brown would have put forward as a plan, where he wants to introduce the first indoor cricketing net facility where young men can play and train even if there's rain at the downstairs of that facility. And I'm sure with the collaboration again of the Member of Parliament as she returns, and when we return as a government in the THA, we will ensure that that facility gets that indoor training so that the young cricketers, the Joshua James and the Orlando James and those kind of talent that resides in this area, this catchment area of Whim and environments, will have that kind of avenue to train. But brothers and sisters, as I speak to you tonight, and as young Delano would have reminded you of all the things that our Member of Parliament would have delivered on behalf of the people of Tobago, I want to talk to you a little bit more about what this election is all about. You see, if you listen to the conversations happening in various spaces, you would think for some that this election is about the THA and replacing the THA. No, this election is about electing representatives who will be part of a cabinet and a government and representing your prime minister and your government that will take control of the management of the affairs of Trinidad and Tobago. Therefore, some of the issues that these persons are trying to put into the mix are in fact misplaced. This election, the central most important question in my mind is who are the representatives? Who is the government? Who is the party you can trust to be responsible with the governance of this country, Trinidad and Tobago, in a time where there's global turmoil, global unrest, and geopolitics that is taking place that can really affect our lives if you don't have the right people leading your affairs. And therefore, you have seen Shamfa and Ayanna over the past 9.5 years representing you, the people of Tobago, with a level of integrity, a level of honesty, a level of reliability, a level of effectiveness, and a level of intelligence that is second to none. Between Shamfa and Ayanna and what they have been able to deliver for the people of Tobago, in my time, Shamfa and Ayanna would have been part of a government that have delivered unprecedented delivery to the people of Tobago. No other administration, whether it be PNM, whether it be TOP, part of a people's partnership, have never delivered like Ayanna and Shamfa have delivered for the people of Tobago. And I want you to think about it. Even when there were issues, many crises that would have come up, many issues that would have plagued us, Shamfa and Ayanna always found a way to deliver. So you would remember when there was the issue with the sea bridge, and people were pretending that they had the solution. It was Shamfa and Ayanna sitting in a cabinet with a Tobago-born prime minister who took the decisive action that we will no longer just lease some ferry, paying millions and millions that we would never own, but they went to the government of Australia and ensured that they were able to negotiate on behalf of the people of Tobago to get not one, but 2 world-class, first-class, brand-new ferries, so that now we can have that kind of inter-island connectivity via the sea bridge that is reliable and sustainable, second to none throughout the Caribbean. And I want you all to jog your memory. Even while Shamfa, Ayanna, and your Tobago-born Prime Minister was fighting to bring those fast ferries, I want you to remember who was there busy fighting, writing to the opposition in Australia, telling them that arrangement was corrupt and trying to deny you, the people of Tobago, those fast ferries. It was the UNC, ably supported by the TPP, as we would have heard in the audio gate, that was fighting against you, the people of Tobago. And then again, as we talk about who you can trust, we had 2 bills that you, the people of Tobago, came together. We discussed it over and over, years upon years, and then came to a unified position as to what we want for Tobago as autonomy. And there were some fundamental areas that we agreed upon. We said, yes, we want additional increased budgetary allocation. I think at the time we sent to Trinidad 8%. And of course, we also said we wanted the ability to make laws. That was included. That bill was sent to the cabinet. Your PNM Tobago Prime Minister received it as is. He then forwarded it to the Parliament, not changing a line, a comma, or a full stop. The Parliament then forwarded it to a Joint Select Committee. The Joint Select Committee deliberated, brought in experts, they looked at it, they then came back to us, we consulted, and we had back and forth, and there was a position that was taken to Parliament. That debate continued, went over for a year or so. When that debate was stopped at the position, I think they had reached the position where to go into a vote. It was halted for about 3.5 years. And your Tobago People's Party administration during that period did absolutely no work, did not consult with you, did not have the conversations, never brought even a motion to the Assembly legislature for us to discuss this issue of autonomy, left it as is. And you know what they did on the day when those bills went to Parliament to vote? After having not done anything for that 3.5 years, your Chief Secretary, without consulting anybody else, any Tobagonian, decided on his own to to tell his UNC friends, do not support. And hear what he told them not to support. 6.8% guaranteed for you, the people of Tobago. That's 6.8% of any budgetary allocation over 50 billion or so equates to about an additional $1.5 billion. That is additional money, revenue for you in Tobago to treat with our youth, to treat with our single mothers, to treat with issues of unemployment and underemployment, to treat with housing for young professionals and others. But your chief secretary, ably abetted and supporting his UNC friends, said to them, do not support. And this issue I see they're raising about land titles. Do you know if we were able to pass that bill, we would have been able to discuss in the Assembly legislature and pass for ourselves measures to treat with land titles? But your chief secretary said do not support the Assembly legislature's ability to make its own laws. So when you hear them coming to you, telling you that give me your 2 seats so we can go to negotiate, the best opportunity to negotiate should have been, would have been when those bills were in front of the parliament, and that is where he should have negotiated with his UNC friends. You don't need the 2 Tobago seats to negotiate. That is where he should have negotiated. But what he did, understanding that the UNC does not want Tobago to get any additional funding. You hear it in the debates. When the members from Chaguanas West and the member from St. Augustine gets up, they start to say, why is Tobago getting all this money? We are larger in numbers than the people in Tobago. They say Central have more people than Tobago. So why is Tobago getting $2.5 billion and we only getting 300 million? And therefore, this denial, this non-support, was simply Farley giving his UNC friends a get out of the card situation so that they could say the reason why we didn't support it is because Farley and Tobago didn't want it. So understand what it is. This is a total sellout, and we heard it for ourselves. And up to now, the chief secretary has not denied that that conversation, that meeting, where we heard him basically selling out our Tobago contractors, selling out our proud Tobago Chief Justice, selling out all of Tobago, our former Chief Secretary. You heard how the meaning they talk of a proud Tobagonian, Mr. Orville London. In that situation, and on that day, that is where the sellout and the denial of Tobago's autonomy took place. So, my brothers and sisters, you can't give what you already rejected. The TPP, along with the UNC, denied Tobago its ability to get autonomy. And let us get that straight. I see even as we go forward and we talk about people we can trust, you have Shamfa and Ayanna that would always level with you. Even the tough conversations, they will have it with you. And you can take their word to the bank. Can we trust the word of Farley, Augustine, and the TPP? The answer is no. I recall Farley saying to all of Tobago, and to you, the contract workers, you would recall that commitment, that vote for me, and we will not touch the jobs of contract workers. He even gave the assurance that rather than contract work, we will make every one of you permanent. That was the commitment given to us by Farley, Chavez, Augustine, and the PDP that just turned TPP overnight. And what did he do? As soon as they got into office, the seat didn't even warm up properly yet. They turned around and fire people down at infrastructure. And when they found that that wasn't enough, they went to OCS, and because they saw a surname with the Morris, they fired everybody, including my own wife. Then they went to CPEP, and it had about 40 people in CPEP, many of them women with loans, have rent to pay, their children books to buy. And even after giving that commitment that we will not terminate anyone's employment, Farley Chavez Augustine turned around and fired every one of them. Brothers and sisters, I ask you tonight, if someone will speak and give you their word like that, and then turn around and then do the complete opposite, can we trust Farley? And if he has shown us his hand in this way, how then can we trust that with our 2 seats, he will do what he say? How can we trust that he would take those seats and negotiate to ensure Tobago gets its way? We just can't trust him. What about our contractors? He also gave them a similar commitment. Farley told every contractor, it does not matter how the contracts were given, we will honor every contract. So we don't care whether they just so select you, we don't care how you got it. Once the job was done, you will be paid. My brothers and sisters, as I speak to you here now, 3.5 years later, not one of those contractors have been paid those outstanding monies. So bad it was that one of the contractors had to take him to court. And you know what happened at that court hearing? Remember, Farley came to you all telling you there's this audit, and this audit has revealed mass corruption across the length and breadth of the award of these contracts, and your Tobago-based contractors colluded to defraud the THA, and he will lock up this one, and he will lock up that one, and he will lock up. When the evidence was brought to the court, and the judge reviewed the evidence, you know what the judge said about Farley's evidence? It is fictitious, fantasy, fanciful. Farley. That is who you have as a chief secretary. A lot of fanciful, fantasy kind of arrangements. And we would even go into some of the promises. You remember some of the... No, and this is just about one. Think about the zip line. You all remember when he was waving the envelope up and down. In fact, that was one of the major issues upon which he rode into office. And remember, he promised that persons would be locked up because he had the evidence in this brown envelope that he never showed anybody, eh? He just had the envelope waving it. Probably didn't even have a thing inside it. When that evidence again was presented to court, you know what the court said about your chief secretary and the evidence? Again, fanciful. Fantasy Farley. So you have a chief secretary that has developed a serious disease. And that disease has been diagnosed. I took the situation to a doctor, and my doctor friend told me our chief secretary is suffering from diabetes. And it is contagious, my brothers and sisters. Diabetes is running rampant across the THA. Because just last night, I heard one of the candidates vying for your vote, telling the people of Tobago that the reason why the Goodwood Pavilion cannot be fixed is because of your hard-working, effective action. Make it happen, Shamfa Cudjoe. You hear lie? That is lie. Brothers and sisters, your MP has absolutely nothing to do with THA facilities, any ground in THA. As a matter of fact, if my MP as Minister of Sport attempt to do any work on any of those fields, you know what they would do? It would be bacchanal. You'll hear them fifth schedule, fifth schedule, fifth schedule. So now that when you had a pavilion to finish, you ain't do nothing for 3.5 years, how come now that is the Member of Parliament work? How come you no longer know about the fifth schedule that say the THA is responsible for sporting facilities in Tobago? As a matter of fact, the only sporting facility that the Member of Parliament is responsible for is the Dwight York Stadium, and that is because of a financing arrangement that took place in preparation for the World Cup in 2001. And that facility remained with the Ministry of Sport. And when they created the sport company, those sporting facilities were vested with the sport company of Trinidad and Tobago. And even over time, there have been conversations to have it revested to the THA. But as it stands, that is the only facility in Tobago that the Member of Parliament and the Minister of Sport has responsibility for. And if you check the record of the Minister of Sport with that facility, since she became Minister of Sport, that facility has gotten the attention that it deserved, and it has been continuous upgrades over upgrades to the point that we have hosted many upon many national football games. That facility was abandoned, was one of the things that the People's Partnership abandoned as punishment for the people of Tobago supporting the People's National Movement in the 2013 elections. And you would recall after that they completely abandoned Tobago. So you couldn't get self-help grants. They left the Dwight York Stadium to run down to the ground. Electrical in a mess. Bathrooms in a mess. The whole facility in a mess. It is your Member of Parliament for Tobago West that would have ensured that as minister that that stadium would have been refurbished and continues to be refurbished. So don't take up the lies. Don't take up the old talk when they are trying to pretend now all of a sudden the things that they are responsible for, they are trying to make you believe, well, it's the central government why we can't get. So the indoor facility, all of a sudden, is the central government. The Goodwood Pavilion, all of a sudden, they're trying to tell you is the central government. Imagine they have a community center right in the electoral district in Charlottesville of the chief secretary, untouched since the People's National Movement left. And up to this day, that building is unfinished, haven't been touched, and they are trying to tell you, you know who? Is the central government. Again, I tell you, my brothers and sisters, lies, you hear lies? That is lies. Diabetes, it is contagious. All across the THA, they lie and sometimes they just want to know if they don't, like the lies come so common that they start believing the lies. They tell it with such confidence. And if you have people like that that would lie to you with such impunity, how could you trust them to represent you, the people of Tobago? How could you trust them to take your issues and know, like Shamfa has done and Ayanna has done, and make sure that those things are deliberated around the cabinet, brought to the fore, and ensure you get solutions? It is because of Shamfa and Ayanna and your PNM based Prime Minister at the time, your Tobago boy, Dr. Keith Rowley, why we can now boast of the most modern international airport terminal in the Caribbean and perhaps the Latin Americas, that ANR International Airport Terminal. And we are not going to stop there. You have a People's National Movement Administration that is focused through tourism on developing this little island called Tobago and making it a big player in tourism. Because we understand the potential that tourism brings to an island. Tourism is one of those sectors that raises and lifts every other sector. Because if you have a thriving tourism, it means that your agricultural sector would immediately see the benefits. You farmers who are now struggling, who are not, you don't have the predictable market, so you are planting and wondering if you're going to get all these produce off your hand. When we met with Sandals, and that is just but one opportunity, one of the things I was impressed with is the arrangement for farmers. They have a system that you sign up as a farmer, and once you log on there, whatever you produce, you tell them on a daily basis what you have, and they will take all of that off your hand. And we are talking about millions and millions and millions of dollars invested in agriculture. It means that we can have young people again seeing agriculture as a tangible way of making and earning. And it means, therefore, it would help to diversify people away from the THA. Our young people who are in the creative sector, who are able to have your paintings or your entertainment, if you are a pan player, you would be able, or a singer or a drummer, you would be able to take that talent to Sandals. Because you know, places like Sandals and Marriott, they have their heritage night, where you come in every night, there's some form of entertainment. So the creative sector, that opportunity, once tourism is booming, that is an opportunity for you. When we talk about jobs, meaningful jobs, not 10 on, 10 off. Because just the other day, I asked them a question in the house. And I asked them how many people in Darrell Spring Whim they have employed. And to my amazement, they are claiming they have employed over 300 young men on 10 on, 10 off. But when I walk the village, I still wondering where they find them 300 people. So again, lie, that is a lie. Liabilities again. So even when they give us, when we ask them questions and they give us answers, we just have to go now and do FYs to match it, because you just can't trust their word. Just imagine recently, we asked a simple question to the Secretary of Tourism. Very simple question. We asked her about this Rhythm and Soul event. And you recognize we heard that the headliner, unfortunately, for some reason, cannot come to Tobago in April, but he will be in Miami in May. No problem. But we asked her simply, you know, how much money are you spending on this thing, and how much money the THA is spending? Initially, she told us 9.5 million or so. But she made a point to say to me that, well, this is a private-public partnership. Right? So they have this private promoter working with them. So Councillor Daniel Benwa asked her, so what is the name? Who is this private promoter, and how this situation happened? Was it because they like to talk about procurement process? Because when you talk about hotels, they're always trying to tell you, well, you need to go and tender. So we asked, so did you tender out this to get this private promoter so that even a Tobagonian who perhaps may have been interested could have come on board? No tender. But yet they partnered with a company that is not even properly registered. But it gets worse. The secretary said they had a private partner. But in a press conference, the CEO is saying to the media, there was never any private promoter. You hear lie? Who really lie? Who lie? But I believe, based on their records and based on the fact that the secretary is very close to the chief secretary, who is suffering from diabetes, I more believe is the secretary is telling that lie. But brothers and sisters, I share this to show you that we have an administration that are paternal liars. They will lie to you about any and everything. You remember when we first heard AudioGate? And when the AudioGate first started circulating, their supporters, because you know their supporters will see sugar and tell you it's salt. They spin anything. And they started to say AI. Some of them don't even know what AI means. But they started telling you AI. And it took us 21 days, thanks to the late Cudjoe Charles, who found a way to give the chief secretary a get out of jail card. And when he got that opportunity to make those excuses, he came to us and he confirmed that those audio recordings were actually real. And it was him having those very criminal conversations with his accomplice, the Secretary of Education, about how they would use your money, the very limited money, to hire people simply to come and basically go on social media and spread propaganda. So why you, the young person who have your 8-1s and well qualified, can't get a job, they are finding ways to onboard persons to simply sit on social media and cuss the PNM and try to spin their lies and their lies and their lies. And it continues because we have produced evidence where in the various divisions, you have people earning. In fact, in that division that they closed down, Office of Deputy Chief Secretary, there was one person with only 2 CXC subjects earning $15,000 a month. And you who have your fancy degree, your masters, can't even get a work. And you will recall there's an assistant secretary who was a henchwoman going wrong and fired you Tobagonians left, right, and center. They gave her the job to go in every division and look for names, surnames that look like PNM, song like PNM, and it was fire and fire. If your contract coming up for renewal, she ensuring that they hold back your file, and you have to be there sweating nervously, wondering if they would renew your contract. And now you can't even talk loud, you can't even condemn, you can't criticize, because you don't know if your job will be on the line. After she performed that hench job, and they found no further use for her, you know what they did next? Yes, they replaced her. But she came back. And they brought her back this. Remember the chief secretary made a comment about seniors and they should go home and what they should do? You all remember that? But for some reason, this senior came back. This senior citizen came back. And they are paying her over $28,000 a month. And I saw her in the nomination day, and I'm wondering if she sent in sick leave. Because for $28,000 a month, how could you be out dancing and prancing, campaigning, and we are young people who can't even get a walk? And fellow Tobagonians, we have an administration that has failed. And I don't know where else in the world, if you have people that have failed so badly, that you will give them a promotion. Because you see, representation at the central government level is not easy. And I'm sure a member of parliament will come and she will be able to attest to that. There are certain characteristics you must have. One, you have to be able to articulate. Because when you go into the parliament, you hear them talking about they'll go down and fight for you and fight for you. You cannot just go and be rah, 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 rah. You have to be able to debate. So you have to have your points well put together. You have to stay within the confines of the standing order. You have to be able to be a good researcher. You have to be able to develop your points. And therefore, you can't take anybody who could barely speak to you, in much less to go down to parliament where can't read no speech. And I reminded my friend, my very good friend, because I saw him in the last debate coming with his papers and going to read. And I said, brother, you know when you're going to if you're vying to go in the parliament, you know after your first speech, you can't come with them papers here to read again. I have sat there and I know my partner has never spoken off the top of his head. And that is something you see your members of parliament all the time, the fiery Shamfa, nobody lives here. You think Nazi could do that? But brothers and sisters, so it is serious business. So you have to have certain acumen, certain qualification, because you have to speak on a wide range of things, from energy to sports to social services to crime. You have to have a certain level of capacity. And let us be honest with ourselves, brothers and sisters. For the THA election, we were so focused on voting for change that we didn't even take the time to assess those who came before us. We didn't look at their capacity to manage. And that is why even now in the THA, we have serious management issues. We have people who do not have the ability to manage and oversee a division. And that is why even in the division of community development and sport, I want you to take a drive throughout Tobago. I want you to go up in the east, start up in Charlottesville, and I want you to come down. Go and check, go around 7 p.m. and see how many lit playing fields we have at this time. After the PNM would have invested and installed lights on almost every playing field throughout Tobago to ensure that persons who come home from work late can recreate. Go and check now and see how many of those playing fields are lit. And even worse, drive through the day and see how many of those playing fields are in any condition that persons can even play. Just last night we were up at Glamorgan and a young man is saying to me, you can't talk to them people in sports. The playing field by Richmond, I played football there. We used to have TFA games there. Now all that you could have there is sheep and goat because the grass so high. So you can't even manage your own division. But it's Tobago affairs you want to take to the Parliament of Tobago. Mind Tobago business first. So brothers and sisters, I don't know about you all, but for me and my house, we are resolute in knowing that we will stick to the stable, responsible, level-headed representation in Tobago West from Shamfa, Cudjoe-Lewis, and of course in Tobago East. Tobago East people, as I reminded you all last night, you have a young lady who would have demonstrated that through diplomacy, she can get it done. She might not be loud, she might not be bashful, she don't show off, but she works tirelessly and effectively on your behalf. Look how watch how she was able, first time in the history of Tobago, a hospital in the east, where our women can now deliver their babies in dignity, not worrying if we could get down to tongue. That is the kind of delivery. Look at the administrative complex, bringing services to the Far East so that you don't have to go to tongue to pay a light bill. And even when the PNM was there, you were getting the kind of representation that even the Chief Secretary made time to ensure you could have public days up there. Where are those public days now? You elected a Chief Secretary from the East, a Deputy Chief Secretary from the East. You gave all the East people your seats. And what do you have to show for it? Where is the development? Look at your roads. The roads in the East are the worst they have been in the history of Tobago. You had Turpin Bend on the cusp of being treated with. That project was to be implemented, designs, everything, contractor ready. And they came in and canceled the contract. And up to this day, that project remains undelivered. And that is your Chief Secretary's district. I am sure if Ayanna and Shamfa and the Minister of Works could have paved in Tobago, I am sure we would have gotten that like we have gotten the police station, the fire station, and all the things they would have delivered. Because as we talk about roads, just imagine the government on your behalf as part of that airport expansion project, conceptualize a dual highway that was taking you from that airport all the way up to Shervan at the back of Cove. Two lanes on the left and 2 lanes on the right. So for the first time in Tobago, you would have seen people driving one way up on the left side, dual, and one way down on the right side. And this administration, for the pettiness, short-sightedness, decide to debar the central government from doing that job. And the thing about it, the central government was not going to touch the THA allocation, you know. They were going to find money from the central government coffers to do that for you, the people of Tobago, because you have a PNM central government that cares about Tobago's development. But you know what they did instead? Because they had a plan to enrich and empower their UNC-based financiers in Trinidad coming out of that meeting in the audio recording. Because remember that audio recording meeting happened before, and they received money from financiers because they heard a discussion about $100,000 sent. So they have financiers who put money into their campaign, and because they now have to pay back those financiers, and that was one of the roads they had identified, they refused the central government's involvement. And instead, they went about on a procurement process where they handpicked a contractor from Central Trinidad, a stucco company, not having any real prior experience in road paving. And they didn't give them one contractor, no. They gave them 2. One of the contracts in Montgomery is the fastest a contract would have ever been evaluated and awarded. You receive they sent their tender quote one day, the evaluation committee got together the next day, and by the day after, a contract was awarded. So in the space of 48 hours, they received a tender, evaluated the tender, and awarded that tender. And that same contractor, after benefiting from that arrangement, was then given that road down at Friendship. And of course, we all know the challenges with that road, because there was no design. That road wasn't properly tendered. In fact, one of the residents just woke up one morning and bulldozer was in front of his house. And you would remember we all had the experience of when the airport was building, and they were trying to accuse the PNM of not following process, but the PNM followed process every step of the way. And those same people who spoke about that arrangement in that way, you would have think that they would have approached this in a real humane way. You know what it is to wake up, not even a notice. So while the PNM would have provided notice and had negotiations, so forth, with the residents, you woke up one morning and all you are seeing in front of your house are bulldozers, excavators, not a warning. That is the kind of conduct that we have experienced under this TPP. So I'm saying to you, my brothers and sisters in Tobago, especially Tobago West and Tobago East, if they have shown themselves as untrustworthy here in Tobago, would you make the mistake and send them to Trinidad? Of course not. So as we get together, my brothers and sisters, and we have the conversations, I want you to think about the responsible representation you would have received. And I want you to consider going forward that in Tobago West, we are sticking with Action Shamfa. And in Tobago East, we are sticking with Ayanna the Deliverer. And as we do that in Tobago, whether you're in Tobago East, Tobago West, and you vote PNM, 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 on the night of April 28th, as you go out and make your votes count, we shall all sing and shout with one united voice. Great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we have prevailed. I thank you.
Take care of them, and in this crowd was singing loud, going to the convention. When we walk in, big screen and ting, oh Lord, what a session. In the hand was a plan and he start to jam. He hit them bam bam bam. Somebody say you got to like the man, he have a touch of Eric William, huh? Hallelujah. We ain't making no dosage mistake. Hallelujah. What the opposition get, they gon' take. Hallelujah. When I say okay, you know what I mean. Hallelujah. Get all your broom, we sweeping this country clean. Hallelujah. We can't fail.
Make some noise. Who you voting for? Who you voting for? Somebody say more fire. I didn't hear you. More fire. I didn't hear you. More fire. Well, when you hear that, you know who's coming next, eh? Ah, yes. My friend, the man was at home. Brother Kelvin Morris making all of us proud. Facts after facts after facts. Only on a PNM platform. And my friend, we are proud of you, Brother Kelvin Morris. Because you see, Kelvin told us before I introduce the next speaker that there are those on the other side who are trying to sell us out. That must not go unnoticed. Because you see, when I tell you we are the PNM, we are the PNM. We are Team PNM. When I tell you Shamfa, Cudjoe-Lewis in the West, it's Shamfa. When I say Ayanna in the East, it's Ayanna. When we say Stuart Young in Trinidad, it's Stuart Young. But there are those on the other side saying we are alone, and then secretly saying, keep this relationship under the table. No, my friends, we above board, nothing under the table. We are the PNM, 69 years strong. We are proud PNM. We're large and we're in charge because we are doing it in the interest of Trinidad and Tobago. Every single constituency, 41, PNM. Every single election, PNM. Every single one. And we are proud. Nothing under the table. You see a man in the crowd's proud because he knows Brother Lewis. Make some noise. Because you see, the next speaker I want to introduce to you goes by the name of Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis. She entered the parliament in 2010 as an opposition senator. She's a lady of service. Representation is the hallmark of her career. She's strong. She's dynamic. She's energetic. She's full of vigor. She's red and she's ready. She's out and bad in the interests of people of Tobago and Trinidad and Tobago. My friends, in 2015, she was the MP for Tobago West. In 2020, because of her dynamic service, she came back to you and we bring her back again to continue her good work. If you think all those things that Delano spoke about is joke, if you think that was service and that was delivery, wait until she's returned in 2025. My friends, I want to bring to you a lady who we are all proud of. Representation at its best. Out and bad, and we are proud to bring to you. We are saying one more time, in 2025 is Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis in the West. Make some noise as we bring on to you, Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis.
Thank you. Brothers and sisters, it is beautiful to be here. Look at you in your red on a Friday night. Nowhere else we'd rather be than right here, minding our business, minding our country's business, securing Tobago's future, looking out for our children, brothers and sisters. We are good people in a good spirit, minding our business. What a beauty it is. I want to recognize the members of the head table, or Tobago political leader, Mr. Ancil Dennis, or chairman here in Tobago, Mr. Larry Paul, our hard-working minority leader, Mr. Kelvon Morris, and our youth speaker, in whom I'm so very well pleased, Mr. Delano Jovill. PNM people, 17 more days to go. I need you to stay the course. Stay the course. We are in a very, very serious time, and there are all sorts of distraction, all kind of promises, people bringing all sorts and offering you all sorts. But we are the People's National Movement. We've been here before, and we stand ready to stay. What is it my mother to say? Hold the fort. We stand ready to hold the fort, not for ourselves, but more so for the little children. We have serious business ahead. But we will stay focused. We will remain fearless. We will come forward and we will vote. We will vote. I want you to pay attention to the campaign that is taking place right now, using certain people from certain areas with a certain look to try to encourage you to stay home and don't make your way to the polls. Brothers and sisters, be careful. This is the 2010 Do So campaign happening again. This is Cambridge Analytica happening to you again, where they're using psychology to make you feel like there is nothing worth standing up for, nothing worth fighting for, nothing worth protecting. Just take a $40,000 and tell them yellow is the code and mislead each other whilst you sell away and gamble away your children's future. We have worked too hard and invested too much and developed too much over the years to sit here and just squander away our future to Kamala Persad-Bissessar and her minions, whether they're in yellow, orange, or blue, light blue or dark blue. You have to mind your business, brothers and sisters. So we will stay focused. We will remain fearless because there's some scare tactics there too. You're afraid to comment on social media. You're afraid to call them out because they would go to the ends of the earth to try to make you quiet. Yes, they are petty. They are telling people they can't post, they shouldn't like this, they shouldn't like that. Stifling you, muzzling you. They are wicked. They are busy on the other side calling people wicked. They are wicked to their own people. So we have to mind our business. We're big and we have sense. We will stay focused. We will remain fearless. We will come forward and we will vote. Brothers and sisters, it's been an interesting week for me as a candidate, as we walk from community to community, engaging our base, talking to our people, interacting with Tobagonians. And I hit a rough patch sometime this week, but the rough patch, what was meant for evil turned out to be good. And I wondered if to share the story with you, but I decided that I will. So I made my way to a certain community, and I met a group of road boys. And the plan was to try to run me away or to scare us away, because the youngsters said they had been asking for jobs and they will promise 10 on, 10 off, and they didn't get it, so they don't want no political party to come up there. So they're running anybody who come up there. And interestingly, and let me tell you how this thing was planned and properly orchestrated, because when I got on the scene, there were 2 express reporters on site, rolling the cameras. Yeah, recording, getting ready to watch these youngsters run me away. And there was a young lady on live telling the bowling, we ain't had no work, are we hungry? And yeah, with the intention of running me away. So we engaged them. But I noticed that there was one, he was the tallest among them, and he kept on a pair of dark shades. And I kept watching him. The others are getting rowdy, but as I got closer to him, he just got quiet, and he's just watching me. I say, okay, this must be the boss. And so the others carrying on, and we interacting with them, and I started to get a little worked up, because I'm like, what is this? Because here is the express on the side, rolling. And as I turned to walk away, he said, you don't recognize me? You know who I am? And I kept looking at him. I said, I don't recognize you. You're under these shades. And he said, you see what they're doing you here? What they're trying to do you here? I can't do you that. He said, you may not remember me, but I remember you. He said, a couple years ago, you were walking in the community where I was living, and you came across a man, who was me, and a little girl living in a small house. Small, it was a small house, can't hold too much. Probably a bed, a fridge, a stove, that's it, right? But it was a young girl, about 11 years old, living there with her father, alone. And I asked questions, and I asked, well, what does she like? What is she into? Like, what could she be here doing with you all day? So I said, we got to get something for her to be engaged while she's there. And he said she likes to read. And I made it my business. I left, and I went, and I got an array of different storybooks to keep her engaged. I took them back, and I brought them food support. And when I got my hands on a tablet, I then took a tablet to her later on. And he remembered that. He said, when I needed help, you helped me. Today, my daughter is 16 years old. I'm still raising her. We've moved from that community to this community. And there is no way I can do to you what we come out here to do today. And I walk away, vexed with my people who carry me there in the first place, because I say, hey, why you let me walk into here? The media, everything there. But what was meant for evil turned out to be good, because this youngster and the express, they're waiting, and, you know, the camera's rolling. But I ain't no story to tell, because the story that they wanted, they didn't get. Yeah? And that goes to show that we work in and out of election season. And we don't just help our own, we help anybody we come across who need help. To the point that that young man could say, and I get it a lot, you don't remember me, but I remember you. You helped me in this way. You helped my child in that way. We are the People's National Movement, and that's the kind of work that we do. It has been years, 9 solid years of representing you, of serving you. There are children who grew with me, sending them to school from small to big, taking care of their school uniforms, taking care of their school books. Every single year, we support these children. And we invite the parents to drop their school book list off as soon as they receive it, and we cut off at July 14th. Yeah? And we move from serving 10 children 13 years ago to now serving 267 children last year. And it's not only supplies, it's textbooks, and those who need uniform, and those who need sneakers, and those who need book bags. We have been supporting. We've been doing hamper drives and support, not only during COVID or at Christmas time, but throughout the year. Every single month, you're going through your month, you hit a rough patch, you think you need a hamper, you could reach out, and we can say we can get to you in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, because oftentimes you don't have it right away. But we help. It takes nothing from us to help, because that's what we're there for. And the list goes on, from public days to roving public days to walking the constituency through the years, in and out of election. So when I meet up on people and they say, or they send somebody to me, they say, go by she. She does help people in and out of election. So that speaks to the service. That speaks to delivery. That speaks to representation in and out of election season. So in this season, I want to tell all and sundry, all that you mean for evil will turn over for good. And I would continue to get beauty for ashes and strength for tears. I an overcomer. Because when we work with heart. I tell people it's hard work, but it's also heart work, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So ladies and gentlemen, today we came to talk about our business, and we're having a meeting, and it's been long, and I want to get off the platform hopefully by about 10 o'clock, 10:05 for the latest. I want to tell you about my walk in Felicity Heights today. I walk Felicity and some other surrounding areas, and it's so interesting that the complaints that the people have are all based on broken promises from a Tobago House of Assembly, a TPP, who they trusted and they ran and they vote for now. Brothers and sisters, if you voted for the TPP in the last election and you found that you had good reason to, no problem. You try something different. You try something different. You were with the PNM for some time. You felt like they're fixing things. Remember, they come to fix. They're giving you bacon bread. They're giving you bread. They're fixing your roof. And they're promising you all sorts. They even tell you you'll get ex gratia payment. You can't vex with them. What they was offering was sweet. It was sweet. You understand? And they came with the music. The music was nice. We used to hide and dance. Used to hide and dance. You still hide and dance. Still hide and dance because some of them nice. Yes? But we got carried away in the moment. And a matter of fact, we decided just to try something different. And some of us were provoked to the point that we stay home. And even as they made up lies and sold it to us, we believed. And we stayed home. Yes, but we ended up with what we ended up with. And as you go from house to house, there are people who are politically fatigued because they felt that they had placed their hopes in a TPP. So many people promised jobs. Many people promised to get a house fixed, their road fixed. All sorts. And today, nothing, nothing, nothing. And they blaming the government. They're blaming the government because some people honestly don't understand the difference between central government responsibilities and the Tobago House of Assembly responsibilities. And they are also blaming the government because their TPP representative minions and miscreants who walk from house to house telling them that things that they, the TPP and THA, should be responsible for, they're telling them is the central government. And that is what is happening. They are playing on people's ignorance. They are playing on the fact that people don't know better. Yes, they are insulting your intelligence. They are misleading you. They are lying to you. They are trying to steal the election the same way they came in the THA election. But we're big and we have sense and we are 4.5 years older and we have seen all their tricks and we would not fall for it. We have to be wise. We have to stay focused in this. So as I listen, somebody raised, let's talk with what Delano raised. I will go back to that after. I want to talk with what Kelvin raised about the indoor facility, because all of a sudden, because I'm the minister with responsibility for sport, now everybody wants to talk sport. Let's talk sports. Let's talk sports. Yes? And they talk about the indoor facility at Bacolet. Trying to tell the people that it's Shamfa, Cudjoe, and the central government that caused them not to have the indoor facility. I remember for years, for decades, I went to Scarborough Secondary, and even in those days, we were promised an indoor facility because we used to play netball down on the court down there at Shaw Park, and when rain come, that's it. Yes, so the netballers, the basketballers, the people who want to play indoor volleyball and so on. Yes? So they will promise that. And somewhere around 2020, Joe Mopit would have been the Secretary of Sport at that time. And he made an arrangement with Udicut to be the project manager of this Tobago House of Assembly project. Yes? There were the designs, the consultations, whatever, and UDCOT started building. But then the politics changed in 2021. And when the PDP came in, yes, they told UDCOT that they didn't like the design, this wrong, that wrong, they would prefer something else. They stopped paying UDCOT. So it's not only a change in scope, a huge change in scope, you stop paying the people. So they frustrated UDCOT, and then UDCOT have to step out. Because you told us to hold up, you told UDCOT to hold up, and you would let them know when you're ready to go again, and you never got back to UDCOT with that. And they owed them. Yes? So that is a Tobago House of Assembly project, and it's so interesting to hear them with their liabilities. Stand on their platform and tell people that the project didn't move because of central government. The same thing with Goodwood Pavilion. Tobago House of Assembly project started by the People's National Movement with UDCOT as the project manager. They came in, they said they didn't like the angle, how the sun go burn the back of the people them head. And they wanted to change the direction and where they want to place it. They told UDCOT to hold. Same thing, change of scope, and they're not paying UDCOT its money, and you expect UDCOT to stay on the project while you lollygag and play politics with Tobago people's future, with the athletes, with the athletic fraternity. You played politics, and you fenced off the area for all these years. 4.5 years, 2 THA projects important to the athletes, important to sport tourism in Tobago. And today you have precious nothing other than to tell the people lies that is under the central government. And that is what we have been experiencing. But Tobagonians, you are big and you have sense. And you've been around long enough to see that with their 3.5 going on 4 years, they did precious nothing other than take care of themselves. So whatever they're offering you in the last quarter, take it. Take it. Take it. But when you make your way to the polls, put your X by the government that you know who cares. And that is the People's National Movement. So we talk in sports, and I hear them wanting to cause all kind of bacchanal as it relates to the refurbishment of Dwight York Stadium. Let's talk Dwight York Stadium. So Dwight York Stadium was built decades ago. It is a central government-run facility. Pam Nicholson was the Minister of Sport at the time that it was built. And so that is part of the group of national stadia. Yes? So it's in the same group as Hasely Crawford, Atto Bolan, and so on. You have the one Dwight York Stadium in Tobago. When we came into office in 2015, it was dilapidated and in a state of disrepair due to little or no maintenance over the years under the UNC and those before. Yes? And it is in 2017 actually, it was about to be close to a THA election, and Watson Duke was all about the place, Willie himself, and brought OSHA, and we ended anyway. How we end up there? OSHA problems. OSHA problems, and they threatened to shut the place down. So we then asked UDCOT, the Ministry of Sports asked UDCOT to come in and manage this project to bring it back to a state where it can be safe again to use. There were electrical problems, plumbing problems, AC problems, elevator problems, problems that could cause fire, all sorts. So they brought in UDCOT. And UDCOT did the work over the years, and in 2020 brought it back to a state where it was open to the public again, it's safe to use again. And we said, if we're going to restore Dwight York Stadium to a place that it's safe again, let's bring it beyond safety. Let's bring it to a top-notch, world-class facility of the 21st century where we can host international games, where we can host sport tourism events and so on. And so we continue to add and build more phases. So a complete electrical overhaul, plumbing overhaul, you now have turnstiles there, repair of the air conditions, fixing the elevators, and so on. So the government over the years has invested over $30 million in Dwight York Stadium. Invested. They're trying to say government spend. I'm saying invested, because package 3 of the works are still ongoing and you still have package 4 to come. Yes? So over the years, with Dwight York Stadium being the one stadium in Tobago, we tried our best to not completely shut it down over any long period of time, unless we absolutely have to. For instance, where there's a major water problem or a major electricity problem. And you know, interestingly, construction had stopped around 2020, 2021 due to COVID, so that caused a stall in the works. And then we came back on and we were preparing for the Commonwealth Youth Games and so on. And we had reached out for a contractor to replace the track, because we say rather than a refurbishment, we want a replacement. Yes? And in that year, World Athletics said that any track that had been built over 12 years ago, they're disbanding them. So they now have a new setup for the tracks, new characteristics that you must get, new specifications, I must say, that you must get for tracks. So by the end of December 2023, both Hasely Crawford Stadium and Dwight York Stadium disbanded. We asked for an extension on Hasely. We got that up to the end of June. We didn't get the extension on Dwight York. But interestingly, the contractor that we had procured prior to COVID had charged us X dollars. And by the end of COVID, the senior person had died, and the person now running the entity said, I'm charging you 3 times. And we said, no, you can't pay that. So you had to tender, go back out again, trying to get a contractor who would lay down a track. Now, laying down a track is not like going by Stumpy's, buying something and put it down. Yes, it is technical. You need international experience and certification in this type of work and so on. So we have been struggling trying to get a contractor to do the work within our budget and within time, while doing other refurbishments at Dwight York Stadium and working around the sporting fraternity, trying not to shut down too long. You know, interestingly, December 24th of last year, December 24th of 2024, we issued a notice saying we're going to close down to do some refurbishment work because we had major problems with the plumbing system. And early January morning, ending of January, you had the THA and the sporting fraternity in Tobago crying out, how are you going to close down the place during sporting time for school sports? So we then contacted the entries and contacted secondary school track and field. How could we work around this? So we said, okay, we're going to open up or allow you to build our works around your season. Yeah? So you can't run on it and keep it open at the same time. You understand? You can't fix it, I should say. You can't do major fixing and keep it open at the same time. You have to protect the safety and the security of the athletes, of the sporting fraternity. And we try not to close Hasely Crawford Stadium and Dwight York at the same time to the best of our ability. And even though you say, okay, we're hoping to have the track ready by March, do you have a contractor? We don't have the contractor here. We don't have the service provider here. It is an international service provider. We had a check in February and another one again on March 26th. A matter of fact, Regu Paul came in on March 26th and they did a report telling us that it's not only the top surface but also the asphalt layer below that has to be fixed. And they submitted their report on April 2nd, which is a little over 2 weeks ago, and now the scopes are being reworked so we can get a proper track system and taking care of the asphalt down below. And that is what all the bacchanal is about. That is, well, she said it would have been ready in March, and look, Carifta happening, and it's not ready. If I could have gone late myself, I would have gone late. If you could have found a contractor that could do it locally, we would have done so already, within the cost and so on. So ladies and gentlemen, don't be fooled by them pulling at branches. What you need to ask all Tobago House of Assembly, which has full responsibility of sport in Tobago. The only facility in Tobago that I'm responsible for is that one national stadium, Dwight York Stadium. But you see that the community facilities in your village, I want you to turn to your Tobago House of Assembly, whether it's the Secretary of Education or the Secretary responsibility for sport, crying out, what's happening with the field in your community? You're big and you have sense. Whatever community you're from, Bonaccord, Bethel, Buku, where else? Blackrock, oh my God, the courts at Blackrock, the fencing on the courts at Blackrock. Have you checked? Shaw Park, tennis courts, under the watch of the Tobago House of Assembly. So while we tell the athletes and we tell the people we need to cry out about Dwight York Stadium, what about the community facilities? Children's school sports in Trinidad, not held at the Hazy Crawford Stadium. They're held at the community fields. You only go there for the major competitions. Same thing in Jamaica. They don't use the stadium for everyday school sports. School sports is on your community field. And I want you to ask your secretary and your THA, what is happening with your community field? Why is it that Phoenix from Bonaccord have to reach out to me for lights to train in football? And I want to ask, why is it Roxborough Secondary and those who train at Roxborough Secondary have to be crying out about their facility and reaching out to me at Sporty to fix it? And I want to know why at Signal Hill Secondary, where they need cricket nets, it is me at Sporty who have provided the material for the cricket nets. That's not my responsibility. That's not my responsibility. That is under you. So while you're going around Tobago making bacchanal about Dwight York Stadium, what is happening to the community facilities that are under your watch? To the point where people doing community football are asking to come to Dwight York Stadium to play because the fields in their community need work, need lights, need fixing. They promised to fix this. They promised to fix this. Instead, they use the human resources they have to do that. They have URP building the bloggers' homes. I remember on the day I watched what was happening down at Black Rock Swimming Pool. I remember when Mr. Orville London and the PNM went there and turned sod and helped to build that pool, and then they closed it, and then they didn't pay the people that was working there for over a year. Now it's the Ministry of Sport and Community Development running Learn to Swim programs at that YMCA facility in Black Rock. We just graduated 30 persons who got their certificates in saving lives last week, and right now as we speak you have over 30 of them in the Learn to Swim class. Tell me, let's talk sports. Let's talk sports in Tobago. What is happening with the Tobago Athletic Committee that has been defunct for over 8 years? Let's talk sports. Let's talk sports in Tobago. Let's talk a little bit about access to grant funding. Where is your process? Where are the forms? How can an athlete or a community group who need financing get financing? Take me to your website where I can find your rules, your guidelines, and your forms. Where is the transparency? We know the money sharing out, but we don't know how to get it. Let's talk sports in Tobago. Tell us which athletes did you help in your time. Don't be calling the athletes who got help on the Jomo time, asking them to make a video to big up you. Let's talk sports in Tobago. The Lalon Gordon Fund. I remember it was big news when you put a board for the Lalon Gordon Fund, hyping up the young people, making them feel like they're going to get help. Show me the athletes who got help from the Lalon Gordon Fund, where to find the form, what is the assessment like, what is the guidelines like, because as far as I'm concerned, the tennis players, the dragon boat people, the footballers, the table tennis players, even the athletes who are abroad in university getting their money from me. Ministry of Sport and Community Development, Sport TT, Office of the Prime Minister, Sport and Culture Fund, and they're so fast. When the athletes go to them, they're giving them my form and sending them to me. So let's talk sports in Tobago. But you know what's the good thing? When they come to us, we help them. We sit with them, we help them fill out the form. Sometimes we take the form to Trinidad for them and make sure that they get the funding, because that is what it is all about. Funding groups in your community. And right now they're going around hyping up the young people and them, telling them form groups, you got fund all. You're like how Shamfa does fund all here. You had the opportunity to do that over the last 4 years, and you could do it right now. You don't have to wait to win a general election. That is already your responsibility to help your athletes. I'm seeing some of the things they're talking about. They are promising people that they would give them work, young people. Youth employment in Tobago is already your responsibility. So don't go telling the poor young people, oh, if you vote me, we'll make sure you're employed. You could have done that 3.5 years ago. And if you did not do it then, you had 2022 to do it. You ain't do it. You had 2023, nothing. You had 2024, krenene. You had 2025, nothing. Precious nothing. Now, couple weeks before an election, you're giving people 10 on, 10 off, and you're telling them that it's ending in August. It's ending in August. So those of you who get 10 on, 10 off, and being told, or you would stay with the program once we win, we're going to make you permanent. You had the opportunity to give me meaningful employment in 2022, 2023, 2024, and earlier 2025. How is only when an election call, you now calling me for 10 on, 10 off, and we know better. Because you know 10 on, 10 off is really a social program. It's not meaningful employment. And they promised you to fix it. And they promised you to employ your children. Bread and butter issues, they call it. Now them the bread butter on both sides, and you down below eating the crumbs. You down below eating the crumbs. They're traveling left, right, and center, going all about. And you down below eating the crumbs if you get any at all. And that is the reality of it. That is the reality of it in all corners. You walk Bethel, you walk Whim, you walk Bonaccord, you walk Lambo, same thing from community to community to community. They do not care about you. They are fulfilling their promise to Kamala in this masterful sellout. Mind your business, Tobagonians. Mind your business. Let's continue to talk sport, because it is Shamfa Ashaki Cudjoe-Lewis in her capacity of Minister of Sport and Community Development, sitting on the cabinet that introduced I Choose Sport to Tobago. And let me tell you how they're petty, because we had written to them the previous year, June, and it took me going on Brother B and crying out for them to respond to the letter saying, okay, yeah, you could come to Tobago the following year, March. So you didn't see the letter June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. 10 months for you to see the letter. It took me going on Brother B for you to now say, okay, yes, you could come to Tobago last year. working with our youngsters, delivering sport camps. We have the motor sport camps taking place over Easter. And in July, August, we host at least 1,000 Tobagonian children, introducing them to many sporting disciplines. We brought in G.C. Foster from Jamaica to train coaches and administrators from Trinidad and Tobago, because any ministry I go, I make sure that Tobago is involved. I make sure that Tobagonians get to benefit from the projects and the programs of any ministry that I have access to. So we have Pink Rain campaign promoting women and girls in sports taking place right here in Tobago too. Capacity building, teaching our coaches, administrators, and even our parents to work with differently able children taking place right here in Tobago too. Becoming workshop for women and girls, for little girls getting ready to be for a career in sports happening right here at Buku facility in Tobago too. Just last week we had street games in Pembroke. So, brothers and sisters, they don't want to talk sport with me. I'm not saying that the program is perfect. Nowhere it would be perfect. But when you compare us, it is chalk and cheese. And what you're not doing in your Tobago House of Assembly responsibility, I don't expect you to go to sit down to even have a voice in Kamala cabinet. Especially where there would be nobody to prepare a speech or slip you a paper to tell you what to say. So this is serious times, brothers and sisters, and we have to be focused. We have to be very aware as to what this thing is about. We are being called upon. And separate and apart from that, because it's not just representation at the level of the constituency office. And it's not only in your ministry, because you see, when you hit that parliament, you're back at abroad, and your voice can't quake. You have to be ready and ready to respond. And you have to be responsible too. Because we spent 7 years working on internal self-government legislation, trying to bring increased autonomy to Tobago government, opposition, independence, members of parliament, local governments abroad. Only to the end of it for Farley and friends. As a matter of fact, I don't want to call their name. I don't want to call their name. Yes? We come here to talk we business. But those opposite, they got their friends in the UNC to shut it down. When they shut it down, they say we are operating based on instruction or advice from the TPP in Tobago. All our dreams and aspirations, the baby thrown away with the bath water. Yes, and they're telling you we go in and send down 2 representatives, and we go in and fight, and we go in and give you internal self-government. It's the same thing Vanilla and Delmon did. It's the same thing they've done in the past. And we don't expect anything different. We've been, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me a 3rd time, what boy? So, you're big. And it has sense because it's working on legislation. It is Ayanna, Webster-Roy, and Shamfa, Cudjoe in the parliament that delivered the that helped to deliver the legislation to allow the Tobago House of Assembly to have the ability to borrow. The UNC stood up against that. We had to battle across the floor and then eventually got the vote in the end. So, ladies and gentlemen, vote for a government that's about standing up in your best interests. We are building for not only today, but also tomorrow. In a time like this, you see what is happening, not only nationally, but regionally and internationally. What's happening in the US? What's happening in Europe? What's happening in Asia? And we have a duty to set up ourselves in such a way that we have a responsible government. That we have a government that cares. That we have a government that would secure the treasury so that all little children have opportunities. They would have access to free education, technical, vocational training, grants so that they could open their businesses, so that there'll be money in the treasury so that we can maintain the standard of living to which we've become accustomed. All the grants and so on that we get, you have to have money to deliver that type of social assistance. And you have to have a government that you can trust. Representation that you can trust. A government that is about economic stability. A caring government. A caring government. And that is why I feel so confident about working under the leadership of Stuart Richard Young. Because I served with Stuart while in opposition, and I served with Stuart while in government, and he is a caring and compassionate man. And he has already started to talk about measures that would help to improve the quality of life for all of us. So we understand that you are worried about the future. You're seeing all that is taking place in other places. But it's on you to make that right decision. Kamala Persad-Bissessar and the UNC, or Stuart Richard Young and the PNM. And that is why we are placing so much focus on building our economy, delivering the airport. It's not just for you to have a fancy building or to say we have a world-class airport. It's to generate economic activity so that we can have increased airlift, so that our Tobago House of Assembly and our central government don't have to pay for direct flights or for seats to fill the front of the plane. You're going to have international carriers ready and willing to fly to Tobago direct. You're going to have top-class hotel chains wanting to come and set up business in Tobago. That means jobs for them people who are 10 on, 10 off. That means business opportunity for us to serve the tourism industry, the wedding industry, the sport tourism industry. It is development, improvement, investment, prosperity for every single Tobagonian. We are not only building for today. We are building for the future so that these little children can have something in which they can be proud. Brothers and sisters, this is not a Tobago House of Assembly election. You would have the opportunity to have your say very, very, very soon. But in 17 days, you're called upon to choose a responsible government. You're called upon to choose a sober, sane, solid prime minister. And you have to make the decision between Kamala Persad-Bissessar of the UNC and Stuart Richard Young of the People's National Movement. I don't have to tell you, you're big and you have sense. Put your X by the balize, vote for the People's National Movement. We have taken this country to independence, to republicanism. We've taken you through COVID when money was good. We have to bring things like gate and so on. Yes, and when things bad, we still maintain our social safety net and ensuring you get self-help and home construction grant and food card and pension. Yes, as we touch on pension, it is the PNM that gave you pension. Do not believe them when they say we are going to take it away. We are not touching your pension. They're going around and lying to the poor senior citizens, telling them that the PNM would take away their pension. A matter of fact, our Prime Minister has spoken to taking off taxes off of pension. Serious times, very serious business, and it calls for serious people who recognize that Trinidad and Tobago is a real place with real issues and real people looking for real development in a real party, a national party where we have fielded 41 solid candidates. We are not dodging behind anybody. We are not hiding behind anybody. What you see is what you get in the People's National Movement. We have searched every single constituency and picked out the best that there is to offer as it relates to service and delivery and representation. There is no undermining your contractors and service providers. There is no selling out of our people in the People's National Movement. So I want you to tell those opposite. When they tell you about going down with 2 seats and they go in and fight, and if you cannot speak to Kamala in a regular dinner conversation, you think you could pull any weight in any cabinet if you make it to the cabinet at all? If you make it to the cabinet at all? I heard the chief secretary telling his followers, we ain't sending nobody to be in the cabinet. It's not about being in the cabinet. It's about sending them down to fight. The cabinet is where decisions are made. That is why Ayanna, Webster-Roy, and Shamfa, Cudjoe-Lewis are in the parliament, making sure that Tobago gets billions in investment and development. How they're doing that fighting up outside the cabinet. And they know very well when Kamala vexed with them, she just does dismiss them and put them on the back bench. And they can't do nothing about it. They can't do a thing about it. So I don't know who they think they're fooling. But brothers and sisters of the People's National Movement, no dodging, no hiding, no undermining our contractors, and no selling out of our people. You're big and you have sense. So we will stay focused. We will remain fearless. We will come forward and we will vote. We will vote for a party of integrity. We will vote for leaders who care. We will vote with people with experience in uplifting the economy and developing our people. They're trying to take you back to Kamala. Show me what Kamala do for you when she had the opportunity and the money to do so. Show me something she built. Show me something she delivered in Tobago. Nothing. Precious nothing, but we can speak to not only physical infrastructural development, but social support and training programs for our young people, and jobs for our people, and grants for our people. Just like the 60 persons, the 56 persons who took on their home construction grants, around $50,000 a piece yesterday. That's the work of the People's National Movement, the central government that you are being called upon to choose. Brothers and sisters, this is a clarion call to each and every one of you. Make it your business. Galvanize your base. Go out to each and every PNMite you know. Go out to every swing voter. Go out to every person who say they ain't make up their mind yet. And let them understand exactly what is at stake in this time. Vote the PNM. Take their money, vote the PNM. Take the alcohol, vote the PNM. Take the curry goat, vote the PNM. Take the refrigerator, vote the PNM. Take the reclining chair, vote the PNM. Take your rental car to drive, vote the PNM. Take the cash and vote the PNM. Because there is life after April 28th. And we have children to mind. We have homes to build and refurbish, and European going and do it for we like it doing for them. We have to make sure our children go to university so they can get a better chance than we did. $40,000? You have more sense than that. Take it and vote the PNM. So brothers and sisters, serious time, serious business. We have our work to do. Knock on every door. Talk to every friend. Let them know, hey, we don't have it. Because you go around to some people and say, you have it, man, don't worry, I know you have it. Elections are won on election day when each and every one of you go out and place your vote. You go out and put your X by the ballot. Say, do what only you can do for yourself, because you see when Keisha stay home in Tobago West, Savitri does go out in Sipari and vote Kamala. When they're encouraging you to stay home, them going out and vote Kamala, they don't care if she hop and she stand up so. They're going and vote she. They don't care who had to lift she into the podium. They're going and vote for her. And then they want to tell you that you're a cult, that we just vote PNM. If they send a crap, we vote in PNM. But if, no matter what Kamala do, they're going and vote she. You understand? We have seen performance. We have seen delivery. We have seen our sisters and brothers go and get their education. Back in the day before 1998, I graduated in 1998. We couldn't just go to university, so on. We used to have to watch them. We used to have to sing and listen about stories about America. I know you remember. Let's give our children a brighter future. Go out there and vote. Go out there and vote the PNM. And brothers and sisters, when we have done our work and all is said and done, we have counted every single vote, and victory is won. We don't have to come back here, but we could ramage in Market Square and sing, great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM, and we shall prevail. I thank you.
People in the West, are you ready? Oh, Shamfa, Cudjoe, Shamfa, PNM people. So you must put your X. We go vote in the West. PNM choose the best. Representative next. This woman ain't easy. This woman.
Let me hear it again. Make some noise for your member of parliament, Sister Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis. My friends, we had a very strong platform this evening. We had the opening batsman, a youth man, making some severe runs, telling the facts and the issues. Then we had the man on the home soil, Brother Kelvin Morris, laying it out for you. And then you had Sister Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis. And that is what we are. This is Team People's National Movement. We're voting for. We're voting for. That's what we're about. And that is why the political leader could stand here, sit here, and be proud of what we had on this platform today. Give Brother Ancil Dennis a lusty round of applause. You see, Brother Dennis texts me and tells me, see, after Shamfa, that is it. I ain't saying one thing tonight. I'm proud. And all of us are proud of Sister Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis. Proud of the representation backed up by Sister Ayanna Webster-Roy in the East. She told us we have a serious decision to make. Come April 28th, we have to ensure that stability remains in this country. If you look at the geopolitics that is taking place, I want to ensure that this country is governed by the steady hands of Stuart Young and the People's National Movement. I want to ensure that the future of our children and our children's children are in the hands of Stuart Young and the People's National Movement. A new chapter as we wrap up will be written in this country. And we in Tobago must be part of that chapter with Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis and Sister Ayanna Webster-Roy. Tomorrow, we're in Charlottesville. Speyside and then Charlottesville. We are going to ensure that you get there. All of us. We are journeying to Charlottesville and we via Speyside. Because we have to take this crusade throughout this country. And of course, we're going to see you there. But continue to go through the highways and the byways. Talk to your friends. Talk to your sister. Talk to your brother. Send the message everywhere. That is PNM, 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 PNM. Our symbol is the Balize. Your choice, the People's National Movement. Your candidate, the best by test, the best in the West, Sister Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis. And these, Ayanna, Webster-Roy. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. And we must and shall prevail in the interest of Trinidad and Tobago. I want to thank all of you. Thank the British Council for giving the center. Thank all our speakers. Thank our PA system, cameramen, those on the outside and those on the inside. Thank all of you. Stay strong and we will vote. Thank you.